All of the content contained in this webcast is for informational purposes only. The investments and strategies contained in this webcast may not be suitable for you. Please consult your own independent financial advisor before making any investment or trading decisions. Good morning, traders and investors around the world, and welcome to Friday's edition of premarketinfo.com, where we prepare you for the most important hour of the day, the first hour. Dennis is buckled down in the trade cave getting ready for this unenjoyment number, so I'm going to be solo once again today. Dennis will be back with us on Mondays. S&P's currently trading mid-range here, 1360.75 after settling at 1360.50. The overnight high, almost $1 short of yesterday's high at 1362.50. If we take that out above that level, we have the high of the move at 1371.25. The 1362.50 holds as the high of the day. We have a downside target of 1348.75. The overnight low, 1357.50, kind of middle of nowhere. 3 points below the close and a point and a half above our daily swing number. If that holds as the low of the day, we have an upside target right there at the high of the move at 1371.75. Moving on to the Big Ten, ExxonMobil took it on the chin a little bit yesterday, issued some news about production. Traded as low as 84.63. That's the lowest that stock has traded in quite a while. Major support forming at the $84 level. I'm sure you get a nice bounce off that the first time. Coming back on the upside, resistance does not come in until Thursday's high at 85.47. Apple Computer decided to rally the day after the announcement of the iPad. Made a high at 542.99 before settling at 541.99. Got a good swing number for you folks in ad stock, 539. As long as we hold 539, we're poised to test that all-time high at 548.21. Below 539, there's nothing in the book there to stop this thing to falling to Thursday's low at 532.12. Moving on to our next component, IBM. Someone decided to step in here at the $200 level with some size. High frequency traders ahead of that. Made the high 199.99 with a settle of 199.81. Above that $200 level is the all-time high close at 200.66 and the all-time high at 201.19. Coming back on the downside, mild support at Thursday's low, 198.65. But the major support comes in where we had a couple lows and the lower 197s. Chevron Corporation continues to baffle investors and traders alike, holding these very, very tight ranges, less than 2-point ranges over the last several days. Did manage to sneak up into the higher 110s yesterday. 110.57, yesterday's high, should be our first resistance point. The number that we've been talking about forever, 110.99, the all-time high. Perhaps the next attempt to take that out will be the last. Coming back on the downside, mild support at 109.56. That was Thursday's low. Currently trading 30 cents above that in the pre-market. But the major support does not come into the 108 area, where you had several lows earlier in the week. Microsoft managed to rally a little bit into the 32 handle yesterday. 32.21 was the high. That's 20 cents short of the 5 and 6 day high, 32.43 and 44, which has been the highs of the move. Looking at trading it up 4 cents and in the pre-market, the close should be mild support. But Microsoft should be good to rally as long as it can hold this 31.90 level. Below 31.90, I expect Microsoft to drift back down to the lows it had earlier in the week at 31.59 and 31.54. Moving on to our next component, GE rode the wave of the good news from the previous day. Spent some time up in the 19s, making a high at 1909 with a close at 1903. Mild support at the low at 1892. Trading up in the pre-market. If the rallies for sure in this thing, it should migrate up to the highs that we had in late February at 1937. Coming back on the downside, we should find major support at Wednesday's low of 1855. Procter & Gamble, currently unchanged in the pre-market, is setting traders up here with a nice setup. Hopefully it doesn't blow through this triple top here during the pre-market. Major resistance has been forming at the 67.06 to 67.09 level. 3 consecutive highs, which this stock has done on many occasions. If in fact it can get through there, we should be looking at the 5 and 6 day high. Also the 52-week high at 67.77. AT&T struggling to hold the $31 level. Made a high at 31.15 yesterday before peeling back and closing at 31. Your first support level, 30.88, which was Wednesday's close on the nose and Thursday's low. Major resistance for AT&T stands at the 31.50 level. Moving on to our next component, J&J gapped up yesterday and just sat and went nowhere. Made a high at 65.08 before settling at 64.85. Mild support at 64.73. That was the low from yesterday. This stock thought it was going to test the 64 level, bounced up, gapped up. Now it's trying to press back up through 65.08 and perhaps get to the high that we had in early February at 65.58. Pfizer Corporation just consolidating here in the 21.50 area. Similar formation that you had in Procter & Gamble. You have the last 4 highs between 21.55 and 59. 6-day high right above that at 21.65, but I would use this 21.60 level as a breakout to maybe test major resistance from the January 26 high at 21.80. Coming back on the downside, minor support at Thursday's low, 21.42, but the major support comes in at Tuesday's and Wednesday's low at 21.19, 21.25. S&P's is kind of bumping up here, a buck away from the high of the day as the jobs report approaches. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back with our market movers.